We are pleased as always to be bringing you coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. Today it's a Week 9 matchup. We are all set to go as it'll be the Indianapolis Colts taking on the Cleveland Browns. The first 2 months of the regular season down. What will the final 2 bring us as we're off in Week 9? And that'll be a little too hot to handle as it will skip through the end zone for a touchback here. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. They begin with a quick throw out left. They'll wind up getting a yard on the game's first play at 2nd down. You look at this Colt defense. They come into this one way down at number 23 against the run of the NFL.
And this group talks all the time about wanting to be better, getting stronger against the run. And to me, it all starts up front. You've got to win the line of scrimmage in order to play against the run very well.
65, go!
From the gun, it's Sanders. Pass caught by Fannin. 14 yards, and it's a Cleveland first down. Their first possession of the game, and they're already going after double coverage.
That's a nice completion that can set the tone for things to come if they're able to keep finding ways to beat what the defense is throwing at them. They look like they're confident that they can get it done.
Liking 18. Down. Cowboy 80.
Now the former volunteer, it's Dylan Sampson. And he tried to bounce it outside, but they'll stop him behind the line. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down.
How about the job there on the outside? Shed the wide receiver and was able to make the tackle on the perimeter.
After the loss, they'll come up 2nd and 13.
60 Eagles, 60 Eagles.
To throw now, here's Sanders. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete.
He kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
Dragon 60. Hurt. Right there, hurt. Ready.
Throwing, Sanders. And he'll be brought down by the Colts. It'll be a loss of 8 on the sack, and it's going to lead them to 4th down. The Browns send out their punter now. As the first drive of the game stalls out, he's on to punt. And he gets it away, and it's a laser headed for the sidelines. And this will be out of bounds. Now it's a question of where they'll mark it. And they'll say it crosses at the 11-yard line. Looking to put a drive together.
Ready. Hawk 70, Hawk 70. Panther 11, Panther 11. 60 Maverick, 60 Maverick. Go check, go check.
Yeah, Richardson back to throw it. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he's going to get forward for a couple before he is banged down hard at the end. Well, this defense for the Browns, they played extremely well last week in that win over Green Bay.
And the big difference in the ball game, their ability to force turnovers, 3 of them in fact. Being able to take the ball away, give it back to their offense, that's something that's emphasized each and every week, and they carried it out.
They'll run. This is Jonathan Taylor. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 15. And, Charles, you look at this defense, they were a very loose group coming into the week, knowing they kind of had the upper hand going into this one, taking on a team that hasn't won in a month and a half.
And that works well for you if you establish your dominance early in the game against a team that's struggling. But if somehow they fashion some plays together early, knock them back on their heels, that looseness can be used against them. Then they're trying to scramble to make sure they get their game right.
Go street.
Richardson looking to throw this. A short one there, caught by Warren. A gain of 2, just like we saw on 1st and 2nd down as well. Deuce is wild.
Partner, I think that completion takes the definition of dink and dunk to a different level, doesn't it?
It does, and the defense was right there, kind of played into their hands. Here's Stout to punt as he boots this one away. And taken right on the 30. Oh, he shifts past him. A nice punt and a good run back as well, 13 yards. And the Browns will take over, 1st and 10. The Browns drive about to get started. Well, partner, fast forward with me for a second. Remember, next week they have the open week, so they're going to get some extended rest. Does that change how they manage the rest of this one?
I think it does a little bit, but not by too much, because you're right. You get the extra rest, you get a chance to heal up and kind of do a little bit of a reset for this team. But it's also 7 extra days to think back to the last time you were on the field. So now, a little more importance on what they're getting done because they carry it with them for essentially 2 weeks.
Here we go. 60 Eagles, 60 Eagles. Panther 60, Panther 60. Viking 18. Ready.
On the ground, this is Quinshon Judkins. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. 7 yards there and a 1st down. The Browns hit 5-3 now on the year. And they come in playing some pretty decent football, 5-3 over their last 8.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
Cowboy 80. Ready.
Sanders to throw. He'll swing this out to Sampson. Down the sideline he goes. And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. Dylan Sampson, his 11th touchdown of the year. And the Browns get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon. And his kick is good, but flags come in. Looks like we're going to get a roughing call here on the follow-through. And they'll accept that penalty. After the roughing penalty on the PAT, they'll kick off from 15 yards further upfield. Good starting field position for the Colts as they have it 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line.
79 Broncos. 18 Cardinal. 18 Cardinal.
Richardson going to move him around.
Mustang 19. Rig alert. Rig alert. Panther 11. Panther 11. 60 Maverick, 60 Maverick, 18 Rattler, 18 Rattler.
Here's Richardson throwing to start the drive. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. We look at this Browns defense. They come into this one rounding out the top 10 in the 10 spot against the run.
Now if they could just get their pass defensive line, this unit would be really, really strong. And remember the conversation with the defensive coordinator? He wants them to rush the passer better. He wants to see the quarterback on the ground. They've got to create some sacks.
And he said it starts early and often. We'll see if they can get to him. Now it's 2nd and 10.
19 Lions. Ready. 60 Bobcat, 60 Bobcat, trap 60, trap 60.
From the shotgun, Richardson. That's complete to Pierce. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that, you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch. Now you put the offense in a position where every series, they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Now 3rd down and 7.
Let's go. Not Bronco 80. Hey, check that. Street. Go.
Now Richardson. Got his open man. It's Carr. And he is going to have a Colts first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
1st and 10, Taylor now. And he stopped immediately there. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. Really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
7 Pirates. Dragon 60. Ready.
Richardson out of the shotgun. Down the field, he's got Warren. And they move this all the way down to the 9. The chain gang hustling to catch up. Here's 1st and goal from just inside the 10.
Cougar 19.
1st and goal, Indianapolis.
70 Rangers. Cup 19. Check smash.
Now it's Richardson. Hit as he throws there, incomplete.
The good signal callers will never go back in the huddle and play the blame game because they need those guys to protect him. But on that last one, his offensive line, they lost their leverage very quickly, and that's why they were able to get to him and hit him as he tried to throw the football and force an incompletion.
18 Rattler.
Back to throw. Here's Richardson. Now he's got it. That will go as a pickup of 7 on the 7th play of the drive. A big play forthcoming. Here's 3rd and goal.
Trap 60. Mustang 19. Ready? Taylor.
Yeah, this is going to depend on his spot, but I believe he might be a few inches short. It'll be called a gain of 2, and that'll leave him with some options here on 4th and inches.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball on this drive and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. It makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
Got it. Ready?
The offense is going to stay out there. We'll see what the play call is. They need to find the right one here on 4th and goal. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter.
Ready?
The offense here not budging. They're going to fight for it on 4th and inches.
Back. Crack up. Cowboy 80.
Richardson looking to throw. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They can't hook up here on the 4th down pass attempt, and the Browns are able to come up with a goal line stand. The Cleveland offense ready to go. And they have the game here followed by the open date on their calendar next weekend. And Charles, this is a crew that you have to think really is relishing the opportunity to be on the couch for a few days.
Yeah, they certainly are, but let's face it, partner. They can't get caught looking ahead to that couch time.
Oh, and a bad throw there. It's intercepted. Jones breaking from the contact. And they will finally get him, but not until he's all the way down inside the 15-yard line. And they'll take possession already in the red zone and in a great spot to add points to the scoreboard.
And, Brandon, how many times have we seen a defense with a lot of field behind them get even more aggressive, right? They feel like they've got them not pinned down, but in a favorable spot for them. And they took advantage of it there, got a nice interception, and set up their offense in great shape.
70 Lions. Streak. Streak. Alert. Alert. Smash. Smash.
Running straight ahead, Taylor. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Indianapolis. Jonathan Taylor with career touchdown number 109. That ties it with Barry Sanders on the all-time NFL list. And the Colts are within an extra point of tying up this ball game. Extra point up and good by Sanders. And we are tied at 7. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback.
At their own 35-yard line.
On the ready.
The Browns drive about to get started. And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back. But make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football, and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
Here's 2nd and 3.
Let's go now. Go.
Up the middle they go. Sampson. They find some open field here. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. 25 yards to pick up there, and also a first down.
Yeah.
First down. 1st and 10 at the 33-yard line.
70 Timberwolves. 18 Rattlers. 18 Rattlers.
Here's Sanders. The Colts are going to get him. Down he goes.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now 2nd down and 22 yards to go. We've hit the 2-minute mark of the first half. All knotted up at 7.
Ready, break. Buffalo 18.
Now Sanders finds his man. There's Jordan Addison. He's got room to roam. And he'll finally be taken down at the 2-yard line. The Colts going to use the first of their timeouts. So as they talk it over, we step aside.
First down. First and goal at the 2-yard line.
After the big play, a chance to finish now on 1st and goal. Judkins is into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. Nice job of polishing off that drive, and all the credit there goes to that play prior.
Yeah, it certainly does, because after that big play, I think resistance almost felt futile at that point, didn't it? And the very next play, they come right back, quick, fast, and in a hurry, and put it in the end zone.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes.
The Colts take over 1st and 10 at their own 35-yard line.
The Colts come to the line, ready to start their next drive. After that last score we just saw, now 14-7, so a chance to march down the field here, try to tie this football game.
7 Pirates, 7.
Here's Richardson to throw. Lets one go downfield for Pierce. And that is incomplete.
They decided the opportunity was there and launched a deep ball, but he was unable to get away from the defender. Couldn't create space, couldn't uncover at the end of the route, and that one winds up incomplete.
2nd and 10.
18, Pioneer. Ready, 19 tight. Browns 80.
They'll bring a receiver in motion left.
Ready.
Richardson. And he's going to be brought down here in the backfield. In for the sack, Myles Garrett.
I spent a lot of extra time preparing for this game, watching this offensive line, because they gave up 5 sacks last week in their loss. They just gave up another one now. They don't seem to be working together as a cohesive unit. Right? 4 guys might have it right, but the 5th guy is giving something up. They've got to find a way to all get on the same page.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. They'll try and do this, and Richardson hit it, he fumbles it. And this is picked up by the Browns. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line. We know he's got the speed to get downfield, Charles, but there's the negative side. A little loose with the football that time.
And that's normal, especially when you have his type of talents, because you feel like you're into the open field, and maybe you don't feel the people who are around you or closing in. All quarterbacks have to do extra ball security drills with the way the game's played now, because defenses, they attack the football as much as they attack the runner.
70, Timberwolves, go! Mustang 19. '70 Rangers, go!
Following the fumble recovery, Sanders. There's a short one caught by Finn, and he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. That'll move the sticks for the Browns, a gain of 12.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
Ready, break! Trap 60, trap 60! Ready! Cougar 19! Ready!
To throw is Sanders. And he's going to go down here, a sack. They push him back to the 34. Now the Browns signal for the second of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 33 seconds to go in the first half. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is second and long.
Panther 60, Panther 60. Warriors 70.
Sanders. There's a short one caught by Fannin. He'll be marked down at the 26 with a gain of 7. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he was unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Ready.
And you see the clock almost empty, so this is likely the last play in the second quarter. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. So here's a 3rd and 14.
19 Lions. Viking 18. 18 Pioneer. Ready.
Back to throw. Sanders. That's to the sideline and incomplete.
Oh, that's going to hurt a bit because they needed to come through with a completion there. Now a drive that started with great field position is facing 4th down.
And his kick is good. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
First half in the books. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. A 10-point game, 17-7 to score as we get back to it on EA Sports. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Indy offense at the line and set to go. By no means certainly are they out of this contest. Two-score game started the third quarter, but you feel like if they don't get points and then they give up points, then it can become a slippery slope. This feels like an important possession.
Yeah, that slope becomes even more slick if you come away empty-handed on this drive, because then you give them a chance to extend their lead. You need some kind of points here, even if it's just a field goal. It's what I call one of those calming drives, try and slow things down a little bit.
Ball on the 36 now. Here's a 2nd down and 9.
Here we go. 76.
Operating from the gun, Richardson. Over the middle, complete. It's Carr. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Richardson going to change the play here.
Hey, check that.
From the gun, it's Taylor. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
So their task a little bit more difficult now. 2nd and 13 that they're walking up on.
Mustang 19. Cowboy 80. 19 tight. Ready.
Richardson to throw on play action. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Carlton Davis speeds in for the sack on the corner blitz.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in third and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And they will advance this across midfield, but still well shy of a first as he's tackled at the 47. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And that's going to make it 4th down. The Colts send out their punter as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. And whistle blown. A timeout here is taken, and it's taken by the kicking team. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this 3rd quarter. The Colts send out their punter as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. This one will sail out of bounds. It'll depend on the spot here. And the side judge says that went out at the 7-yard line.
Let's go old school there. That's absolutely a great coffin corner punt. Someone's put some time in working on that, hasn't it?
Seems like every year these guys get better and better. It's amazing how they can command that football through the air.
Yeah, they used to actually practice with hula hoops where they place them and try and put them there. Now a lot of guys use barrels on the sidelines to try and put the football in one.
Check, match. Cougar 19.
They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he'll work free from one tackle, but that's about all as he's taken down. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
Panther Street. Ready.
There's a short one caught by Finn, and 50 catches for him now on the year. He's got a 1st down. A few moving pieces on that play because that was an RPO, was it not?
It was, but one important piece that didn't move incorrectly, the offensive line. Because when you're running this play, as he continued down the line of scrimmage, sometimes the lineman can wander downfield. And if you're more than a yard downfield, it's illegal to throw the football at that point. But they held their ground, held their spot, and turned it into a nice gain.
Now on 1st down, he'll drop to throw it. And that's caught inside the 30. And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. Dylan Sampson, 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And the Browns are able to add on to that lead. Play after, right down the middle. And that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And that is over the back line of the end zone. It's a touchback, and they'll bring this out to the 30. The Colts come to the line, ready to start their next drive. And really, Charles, not much of a surprise that they're losing. They just haven't been able to get much of anything going in the pass game. And as you well know, in today's NFL, if the passing game isn't working, usually not much else is working either.
You're exactly right about that, partner. And I know that right now the easy answer would be, hey, let's run the football. But that might not be everything you need. So despite the fact that they've struggled throwing it, they've got to find some type of a play, multiple plays, that puts the ball in the air and allows for them to have some success.
And that'll fall incomplete. He was hit just as he let that go. And now it's 3rd down.
Tough series for the passing game. Things just aren't clicking. Hopefully they can come through on this play and get this series back on track with a completion for enough yardage for a first down.
18 Cardinal. Buffalo 18. Ready.
On third down, he'll drop to throw. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
Looks like another empty possession offensively. And you're at that point in the game where you can't afford too many more of these. So this is going to require some heavy thinking on the sideline to figure out what they can do to crack this defense.
Three straight incompletions. They don't care. That hasn't dissuaded them. They're going to go for it on fourth.
60 Bobcats. 60 Bobcats. Hawk 70. Hawk 70.
Richardson going on fourth down. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. Boy, a real head-scratcher there. And the Browns are going to get this thing back. Excellent field position.
Here we go. Set. Set. Let go.
On first down, here's Jenkins. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
That felt like a trap because it looked to me like the opposing front was on that play from the get-go. They had everyone crashing the ball carrier before he even made the line, and they hold him to just a yard.
They work now on 2nd and 9.
Ready, ready. Cowboy 80. Ready, ready.
Looking to throw. Sanders. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's third down.
Oftentimes when you're losing a game and the team's still throwing with this kind of a lead, you start playing a little more physically. And they took that opportunity right there to be extremely physical and force that incompletion.
So they've been unable to capitalize on the great field position as of yet. Here's 3rd and 9.
Check. Hurt. Ready.
Operating from the gun. Sanders. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
They certainly had good starting field position on that drive, but couldn't do anything with it after 3 plays. Have to admit that that's a disappointing end to excellent field position. When that drive started, they had 6 points that they were thinking about.
So 3 more points tacked on, and this margin getting more comfortable by the minute.
And with the lead where it is, you can actually feel good about field goals. We talk all the time about scoring 6s, not 3s. But in this case, they're just looking to chew up some time and come away with points.
Pretty move. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. Offense at the line and set to go. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line. Back to throw. Richardson lets one go downfield for Pierce. And incomplete on the deep ball.
some good closing speed there defensively because that looked open for a minute. But that's great work with the ball in the air. Never gave up, converged on his man, and broke the play up.
Press all 80. 18 Rattler. 18 Rattler. Let's go.
To throw on 2nd and 10. Richardson. And he is going to be taken down. And that should be the final play of this third quarter. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his third down play as we played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Colts on 3rd down. They've had their troubles. Just 1 for 6. This will be 3rd and forever.
18 Cardinal. 18 Cardinal.
Now Richardson going to shift things up.
70 Rangers. 70 Rangers. Buffalo 18.
Richardson now. Off the play fake. And pressure coming, and they got him once again. The pressure from multiple guys there as they bury him for a big 9-yard loss. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it.
Pack for 60. Pack for 60. 60 Bobcats. 60 Bobcats.
4th down, desperation time. Here's Richardson. And they hit him as he throws, as this one's going to go straight down to the turf. Incomplete. The Colts unable to convert here on 4th down. And boy, possession here turns over with the football already being in the red zone. They'll give up the middle, Jenkins. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down. Good gain there on 1st down, and keeps him in a running situation probably.
They did everything right on that play, didn't they? They got the leverage up front, good blocking, nice hole for him, ends up picking up nice yardage, stays in bounds to keep the clock rolling. They are in charge of this scenario right now. They want to stay that way.
And not in any rush offensively.
Let's go now. Let's go.
Oh, they're going to run a little pop pass here. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9.
Ready.
Now a toss left side for Jenkins. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. It's a gain of a yard, and it'll set up 2nd and goal.
Not a whole lot there on 1st and goal, and that's what you're looking for defensively. You'll certainly live with giving up just a yard or 2 in this situation.
70 Lions.
And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 10-yard line. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down. Bear in mind, that wasn't a big lineman back there for the tackle for loss. That was a cornerback.
So are you saying the myth has been shattered? That all of them are not just cover corners? Some of them actually will stick their nose in and tackle when necessary? That's what we just saw, isn't it?
Big play coming here. It's 3rd and goal.
Here we go. Strike.
Looking to throw. Sanders toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
That was a touchdown if he could have hung on. Instead, it was a well-timed collision to jar that one free.
And this one is right through. And that will extend their lead even further. Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. It's now appearing that this losing streak is going to continue. You know, the coaching staff was confident that this was going to be the game to stem the tide, but that just has not been the case. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. 46 yards rushing now on 8 carries for him so far. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Back to throw. Richardson. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
Here's 2nd and 10.
Stephanie! 18 Cardinal, 18 Cardinal. 60 Maverick, 60 Maverick.
Richardson working from the gun. Now a run here off the RPO. He'll keep it. An off-balance throw there, and it's going to wind up incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
Ready,
now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Looking to throw. Richardson. Now this will be swung out wide for Taylor. Down the left sideline. And all the way down to the 17-yard line. A big play there on the catch and run. 44 yards. So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on 1st down. Back to the air with Richardson. Over the middle, hauled in by Pierce. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch. And that'll bring that 2nd down. Up the middle, here's Taylor. And here he'll get it down to the 7. And we are inside of 2 minutes left in this lopsided affair.
Come on. Dragon 60. 60 Eagles.
To throw is Richardson. From the gun, he'll throw. Short completion, just 4 yards. And it'll bring up a 2nd and goal. From the 2 now, 2nd and goal.
Panther 11. 18. Rattler. 18. Jeanette. Viking 18. Buffalo 18.
They'll look to run with Taylor. And he takes it in for a Colts score. Jonathan Taylor, his 8th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Colts get a bit closer. Well, he finishes off the drive with a touchdown run, Charles. Remember, he also had a catch on this drive as well.
And that's what running backs want to be in today's NFL, a complete back. 3 down, stay on the field, run it, and catch it. And he gets it done.
Extra point up and good by Sanders. And the lead's down to 2 scores now at 16. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And this one definitely not in the landing zone. In fact, it's over the back line. So this is going to come out to the 35. The Cleveland offense ready to go. And checking the timeouts, they do have 2 defensively, but no real need to use them as they're not going to be able to stop the clock after that.
We got to have 2 hands on the football here as they run on first down.
And some good and some bad. Heck of a job to get away from that first tackler, but still, they're able to drop him behind the line.
I think it's pretty evident we can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments.
On second down, here's the option.
And he'll be limited to a short gain up to about the 34-yard line. He'll get 2 on the keeper, but it becomes now a 3rd down.
Typically on the read option play, when we talk about responsibilities, we're talking about what the quarterback has to go through. How about the inside linebacker, though? His job on this play, shadow the quarterback and hold him to a short gain. Did it to perfection.
Let's go now. Cowboy 80. Ready?
And he will slide to a stop. He does have the first down.
So it's a win here for the Cleveland Browns, and it was thanks in part to their man under center, their veteran quarterback.
Yeah, the numbers don't jump off the page, but he was a steady influence back there. He had a couple of touchdown passes on the afternoon. His guys rallied around him, and they're going to come away victorious.
So for Cleveland, the win will help them keep pace in the playoff race as they move to 6-3 on the year. And they'll be able to enjoy this one through the bye week.